Someone came into our home, and my mom was sewing. She was hit over the head, was beaten and stripped and raped, strangled, and then shot 4 times.
My parents were at our family home watching the Boston Celtics basketball game when there was a knock on the door. My father got up and answered it, and when he did, 2 shotgun blasts rang out, turned his chest into hamburger, and killed him in front of my mother's eyes.
I started to head for the house, and a police officer stopped me right away and said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't go in there. It's a crime scene." And I said, "But she's my daughter. I need to go be with her." And he just kept saying, "I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't go in there." And finally I said to him, "Is she dead?" almost accusingly. And he said, "I'm sorry, ma'am."
For many people, it's an accepted truth that if you are a victim of some horrendous crime, you not only need but deserve retribution. And I don't think that's true.
Those who hold up this execution solution to a victim's pain fundamentally don't understand the healing process. You know, healing's a process, it's not an event. And the idea that all of a sudden, you know, what I should want is to go to the prison and wait while my father's killer is taken out of a cell and strapped on a gurney and poison pumped in his arms and killed, you know, that doesn't do anything to bring my father back.
When a community decides that they are going to kill people, I think they lose something of themselves. And we may want or say that we're doing it to be safer or some twisted sense of justice.
Revenge isn't the same thing as justice. And revenge doesn't really do anything to undo the harm that's been done. It doesn't heal anything.
I was very clear to say, our family will not get swept up in hate. We won't do that.
Killing somebody else never gives you back the person you have lost.
I met lots of other murder victim family members, and I learned about the death penalty. I learned that it wasn't reserved for the worst of the worst, which everyone always quotes. The people on death row are those who don't have money for a good lawyer. It doesn't deter crime. You know, it costs a lot more to pursue the death penalty, and it lasts forever for victims. You know, they cannot get on with their healing.
I see the death penalty as the extreme end of a criminal justice system which focuses too much on punishment and not enough on healing, not enough on repairing the damage that has been done by criminal offenses.
I mean, when you talk about justice in the case of homicide, it's really difficult because the only real justice would come is if you could exchange the life of the person who's in the grave for the one who's still around. But we can't do that, obviously. But what I do think is that we can try to do things that help victims, survivors heal in the aftermath of murder.
That's a huge failing of our justice system, that there isn't a broader reach that deals not just with the punishment, but deals with the emotional wreckage that's left behind with the survivors.
To spend literally millions on a single high-profile case, rather than looking at how can we use those same millions to support victims, to let people know that the system has not forgotten their loved ones, no matter how much time passes.
Money saved from not pursuing the death penalty, you could have more cops on the street. You could begin to address the root causes of poverty with health care and drug treatment and education. just so many ways that you could spend it to help build society.
As a Christian, it is, antithetical to my faith to advocate taking someone's life. The New Testament is very clear, even though people always go, oh, but an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Well, Jesus rejected that notion. He said, that was the old times, this is the new times. And then again, it also says, God says, vengeance is mine alone. So, I think it's hard to square Christian faith with advocating for taking someone's life.
I'm a Christian, I'm pro-life, and I cannot see taking the life of anybody else. It's just, I don't think I have the authority as a human being to take somebody else's life just because he or she had done something horrible.
It's not a matter of whether or not they deserve to die or should die. It's about whether we deserve to kill. And I don't think that any group or any society or community has that right. I just think it's wrong.